Good morning, everybody. Today I've come dressed as part lifeguard, part guy who just fell asleep on the beach. So hopefully you can put up with this. It's not about me, it's about you. Today we're going to do a 5,000 meter row, or at least that's what I'm going to row, and you're going to row along with me. Now it's going to take me around about 21, 22 minutes. You can get as far as you want in those 21 or 22 minutes. Maybe you're already rowing. Maybe you're going to row a little bit after I've finished. Who knows? But that core 20, 21 minutes, that's really what this is all about. Okay, if you can get this workout into you every day, trust me, it's really good for you. All right, so get your machine set up. And that means that you start with resistance or drag factor or whatever hamsters that makes your machine have some kind of resistance, okay? On a Concept 2, I recommend a drag factor around about 130 if you know about drag factor. I have my lever set between 5 and 6. It's a clean machine. That gets me to around about 140 because I kind of go a little bit harder because of Hyrox. This is a long intro already so far. I want it to be quick. Next up, go to your foot plates and set them at a height where you're able to come into the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position comfortably, all right? It's really important you do that. And plus, when you're testing it, try and think about good posture. I never really say that, but if you think about sitting up, good posture, roll into the front, try and get those chins vertical. Because if you collapse your posture, hips roll backwards, then things go all over the place, all right? This is really not how you want to be rowing, Martin Boyce. You want to be sitting up, nice posture, shins vertical, and that kind of helps you with the foot stretcher height. See, I messed up again. So the ballpark here is that the strap covers the balls of the feet, the widest part of your feet, and then you can adjust up and down from there, all right? So hoodie comes off. Brrr. See what I mean about the lifeguard thing? Not quite the Rock though, am I? So here we go then. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's begin. All right, just take a few strokes just to get moving. Think about your hip, or your hips, not just the one. Your hips rocking over, tilting forwards, and rocking back. Just think about that. Pumping forwards and backwards with a good posture for the time being. I apologise for the long rambly intro today. Sometimes I know not the words that are about to come out of my mouth. It's like just something just occurs to me to say, like the whole posture thing. I don't think I've ever in, where are we, 2026, so I figure it's like 7, 8 years that I've been making these workouts for. I don't think I've ever actually kind of added in something about posture just when checking out the foot plate height. Here's me getting worried that I'm just saying the same thing all the time. And hey, I could mix it up with the best of them. I did get overnight. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos saying, a little too much talking for my liking, but otherwise a great row. My reply was basically, well, you see. I do tend to talk. I know I'm not for everyone. But possibly within these 20-minute workouts, you're not really looking for, like, I don't know, banging music, motivation or whatever. This is meant to be almost a mindless movement of the body rather than anything structured or even performance orientated. I mean, so right now I've got my iPad is sitting on the floor running ErgZone, and then I've got this big monitor in front of me which isn't even turned on. I'm just too lazy to take it off. And then the PM5 is folded back behind that. So I can't actually see from stroke to stroke, unless I look down at the iPad, what my pace or stroke rate is. Well, let me just check. So coming up for 700 meters, just checking I can actually see, I can see my distance, otherwise I'll be on here for a while. all I'm thinking about doing is finding an intensity and stroke rate where I feel that this is a comfortable, conversational, low intensity, kind of wake up row. I mean, it literally is. Woke up, had a cup of coffee, came in here. That's why I've still got the bed head and possibly still lines around my eyes where my sleep mask is. I started having to sleep with a sleep mask recently. It's one of the ones that has speakers in it, because for years I've had to sleep with a white noise generator because of the rather terrible tinnitus I have. But I was starting to get disturbed quite a lot by any kind of light in the room. So I decided to get a sleep mask, and then I saw the combined mask and speakers, like headphones if you want to call them that, which means that poor Julie, who's been suffering with the sound of for the past, well, I don't know, funnily enough, about 7 or 8 years. Did it all start when I started RowAlong? Yeah, so she doesn't have to listen to that anymore. How did I get to that? All right, anyway. So, quickly, like I said, I'm running ErgZone in the background today. And I wanted to use it today because of the force curve. You can see that front and center. Underneath it is drive length. Which looks as though I tend to hover between 127, 130. But the force curve is relatively smooth. Now that I'm looking at it, it's getting a bit wobbly. But what it doesn't have is a particularly steep start to the stroke. And that's because this is a nice low intensity row. If I was to power in, then suddenly that one was a lot steeper on the front end. So the force curve is not just a way to look. I was talking about this in yesterday's row, by the way, so I'm just continuing the chat. The force curve should basically be a bell curve. That's what you're looking for. But right now mine is a bit more of a kind of, I don't know, it's almost like a poorly drawn car profile with the bonnet to the right hand side. But yeah, so any hiccups, lumps and bumps to this curve, which you can see if you press the second button down on your PM monitor if you have a Concept 2. But I know that at least I'm putting in a smooth power profile because it doesn't look like Mount Everest. But I also know that I am not accelerating hard at the beginning of the stroke. But that's because I'm taking it easy. Nice, low intensity, conversational pace. But What keeps it smooth is pushing with the legs first while holding the forward tilt and arms straight, and then as I get about halfway through the leg drive, I add in my backswing. So I don't start the stroke by swinging my back. I think about pushing the machine away with straight arms and a forward tilt. That allows my legs to do the lion's share of the work when it comes to the stroke power, and then I can add in my backswing to top up that power, and then I can finish off by pulling the arms. And the problem comes when people think that rowing is all about pulling on the handle, and so they'll pull from the front and they'll swing their back at the same time, and their legs, well, they hardly get in on the game because they've broken that posterior chain link by pulling early. And you will get some big beasts who will still be able to row at an okay pace over 1-2K by pulling early with their arms. And so they ain't gonna listen to anyone telling them not to. Just go to any CrossFit gym or Hyrox race, and if you care anything about rowing technique, take a box of hankies with you. You know that kind of cliche image of the Native American Indian looking out across the plains and seeing factories and things, and a single tear rolls down their eye. That's what I'm like when I go watch Hyrox. Not helped by my partner in crime, Martin, who rows like someone's slapping the back of his head when he comes forwards and backwards. He gets 2 shout outs today because he messaged me yesterday because he's actually been rowing along with these videos. I didn't realise he was. It's a good thing I haven't been talking smack about him, going, oh, that Hyrox in London could have gone so much better if it wasn't for Martin's good looks and winning personality. So, actually, I kind of spoke technique just then, didn't I? So the only thing really I'm going to add on then is that, remember to set up your rowing stroke from the back rather than thinking about the front. So as the handle taps into your chest, let it release from your body, and then sit up. Handle up, tilt. Handle up, tilt. And then once you have straight arms and you're in that forward tilt, that's when you bend your knees to roll to shins vertical. And as you start that roll, you shouldn't need to adjust anything with your back or your arms. You lock it in place. So lock, bend. Lock, bend. Okay? Think about that while I'm talking. Right, I've just passed 3K. So I've been talking a little bit about my injury and training woes that after doing Hyrox in December with Martin, I haven't been able to run the length of myself. Weird heel issue. And the longer this goes on, the more I realise that I don't think this is going to be the year for me when it comes to Hyrox. So, although I'm racing with Julie in March, I think my own personal goals for Hyrox are going to have to take a bit of a back seat, I'm afraid. So, after this year's London racing as Deadpool and Wolverine, in Martin's review, he officially invited me back for the Trilogy. And I think I'm going to have to play the kind of, what's the right way to put it? You know how you get someone, kind of like how actually Hugh Jackman, when he did Logan, he was like, that's it. There's nothing more I can do with Wolverine. And basically said that was him done with the character. That, for the time being anyway, is where I am when it comes to my racing with Martin. However, we all know what happened, that Hugh Jackman did come back to play the role, and he did do Deadpool and Wolverine. So, I think to cross movie tropes, Wolverine will return with Deadpool, but where I had hoped that Martin and I could do what most third films do, like look at Pitch Perfect 3 when they went to Australia. Aka what? Aka what, mate? I thought that this year Martin and I might do similar and do an overseas trip, go to Berlin or something. But unless the insoles that are being made for me right now, unless they are overnight game changers, I think once I've done Glasgow, I'm going to be out of Hyrox until everything's back to normal. So that's why I'm talking about rowing at the British Champs this year, because that's the weekend. It's pretty much always the same weekend. There's 4K in for me, by the way. The London Excel Hyrox historically has been the same weekend of the British Rowing Indoor Champs. So I think, having done the past 3, 4 Excel races this year, I think I'll concentrate on rowing instead. Because the thing is, I've only got about 3 minutes to talk about this, haven't I? I need a goal, okay? I can't really exercise for the sake of exercise. I mean, as daft as it sounds, my overall health is not the #1 driving factor for why I exercise. I think possibly overall health comes below vanity. But at the top of the list for me, it's about performance, competition, using it somehow. This is one of the reasons why when I blew my shoulder playing squash, I just totally left the world of squash behind, because I just couldn't be in that world anymore. I couldn't compete, even though people were saying, play with your right hand. No. And so I need a reason for this. For the past, 3 years, my 90% of the reason I trained was Hyrox. So 22? I'm looking at my board with my patches. I think it was the 22-23 season. It was my first race in Manchester. And ever since, my focus has been Hyrox. And that's kept me training and eating healthy, all that stuff. But the past couple of months with this heel injury and not really knowing what's going on, I've been goalless. And that has led to this kind of meh approach to, certainly to how I eat. Again, go back to yesterday's row about overeating and alcohol over the weekend. So I figure that if I don't set a tangible goal, which is to compete as a lightweight at Brick this year, then I'm just going to be flapping up and down, kind of putting in the effort. So I need to improve performance, and I need to lose 4 kilograms. So that gets me from both sides. I have to train well, and I have to be really careful about what goes in my mouth. Whew. Right, I'm done for the 5K. I will row lightly. Not that it matters. None of these meters count towards the virtual team challenge now, because ErgZone only records the 5K I set into it. I should really just have done the problem with ErgZone. So ErgZone is an amazing app in terms of the data apps that are out there. It's currently, I'd say, the best one. Like, it beats ErgData just from like a metrics on screen point of view, and that you can save a wide library of your historic rows, and you can also access rows from a whole bunch of other people. I mean, I'm on there, but there's loads and loads of other people. You can use this if you row the cross team challenge for a team. Then you can use this to set up your workout, and it will automatically upload for you, which is fantastic. If you don't row the CTC and you do row in a Concept 2 and you want a little bit of a monthly challenge, just one tough row to use your performance in some way, then I do recommend joining. Just type in Concept 2 Cross Team Challenge, and that'll take you to the British rowing page and registration and stuff. And of course, if you don't have a team, then I'd love it if you join RowAlong. No pressure at all to. But if you're looking at teams and you don't know of any other ones, then RowAlong's here for you. Was I bang on 21 minutes again today? I was. So basically, so I'm now looking at the ErgZone screen. So this was an identical pace time to yesterday's row on RowPro, which afterwards, after the video yesterday, I started a discussion on the Concept 2 forum, just kind of saying, is RowPro dying? And the overwhelming reply was, well, it's not dying, it's dead. It's still there, but it's completely non-supported. Like changes in operating systems and APIs and stuff just haven't been addressed. And one guy was actually saying the problem is that because RowPro designed their own gaming engine, it's a real problem to update, and certainly a real problem to then migrate onto iOS or Android, so that's why it never moved. If you look at apps like Xer or Immerse You Row, they use, oh, I can't remember, is it Unity they use? I can't remember what they're, or Unreal. I think that's the two gaming engines out there, Unity and Unreal, which is like a wide ranging, well, I'm going to stop here, gaming engine. And so they're able to do cross-platform stuff. So I thought that was quite interesting. You might not. You might be like, oh my God, could you shut up? Let's talk about something, talk about food or something. Although I will. So this is actually what I was going to go on to when I was talking about going to lightweight, and kind of why I need a goal and a proper focus to say, right, I need to lose 4K or 5K, however heavy I am right now. Last I weighed myself, I was 79.1. So that means I have to get down to 75 kilograms is the lightweight limit. You have to be 75 or under. So I've got 4.1 kilograms, what's that, say 9 pounds I got to lose. Which mostly is going to come from around here. I'm kind of at 50, I'm 51 in about a month's time. In fact, what is the date? Yeah, in a month's time. I'm just at a point where if I eat too much, it goes here. Anyway, so yeah, so I have to look at what I'm eating. And yesterday, so here's, right, I'm hoping you're still rowing and this is interesting to you. Otherwise, if you're done, then feel free just to go, okay? Make sure and shower, eat, drink, tell someone you love them, all right? But I'm going to say this quickly. Yesterday, my training day went like this. I did this row in the morning, which is what we worked out about 250 calories burnt. And then at lunch, I then did 45 minutes worth of weights, all the push set, which I figure over that 45 minutes, maybe about 150 calories-ish. I mean, I do supersets, so I'm figuring about 150 calories. Then in the evening, I did 40 or 35, 40 minutes hard on the bike. And then I did 15 minutes hard on the ski erg, which again, I figured that would be probably around about another 400 calories, okay? So say I burned yesterday around about 800 calories. You can go, great, that's a great day's worth of exercise. But then I look at the food that I was consuming. After the row in the morning, I had one slice of toast with peanut butter, okay? So that would basically be around about the 250 calories that I burnt on the row. I'm about to do the same again. Then I had a banana. Then for lunch, I had chicken breast with noodles. Just one whole chicken breast and a thing of kind of samyang noodles. And then what did I have snack-wise? So I know this isn't the most exciting thing in the world. I had some 90% dark chocolate. And then I noticed that the kids had opened up the digestive biscuits, the chocolate digestives. And then that's when the Cookie Monster comes out and goes, oh, I could have it. So I reached for one of them. And then dinner was, what did I make last night? Oh, chili. So I made chili last night. So rice chili. Right, it's not going to be too calorific with like a few tortilla chips, sprinkle of cheddar cheese across the top, but still it's kind of in there. And then what did I do? I then just did a little bit of work on the RowAlong app. And then sat down, did some stretching, watched, Julie was doing jigsaw. She's got a massive jigsaw that she's doing right now, and the cats keep on stealing pieces. It's quite funny. She doesn't find it funny at all, but I find it hilarious. I was watching The Big Bang Theory stretching, because that's kind of what I did to do. But I had like a big mug of hot chocolate with the Cadbury's drinking chocolate powder, 4 scoops of that, and then like water. I had that, a little tub of Greek yogurt, and another digestive biscuit. Is that it? Yeah. And then, just before I was going up to bed, before I went up to brush my teeth and stuff, I snuck another digestive biscuit. And that's the problem, okay? So basically, the digestive biscuits are the horror story within that tale. Is that it's this thing of kind of going to the cupboard and just kind of like saying, oh, one won't matter. One really doesn't matter. But by the time that 1 adds up to 3, because you've suddenly, that little switch in your brain has kind of gone, I can sneak another one of them, that's not going to matter, especially because I've just done 800 calories worth of exercise during the day. But the problem is when you actually add up to like all these little instances too many, or even worse, if you are overestimating the calories that you have burnt on the rowing machine, the ski erg and the bike, and you think, oh, it's okay, I'm okay, but suddenly you're like 300 calories over, you're in like a surplus of 300 calories, and you're trying to lose weight, then that's when it becomes a problem, okay? So that's what I need to watch. So that's a really long story for the fact that I'm saying I just need to watch calories. But if I want to get down to 75 kilograms, I have to stop snacking, is really what it comes down to. And it's basically just what I need is like a brick wall built that kind of says just zero tolerance. And right now, I'm not really in that place to kind of accept the zero tolerance thing. I will get there, maybe in a couple of weeks. I don't know whether it's because I've got my birthday coming up, and I know that that's going to involve an element of kind of celebration and eating and then going out for dinner and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? But there's something in my head that is just not quite ready for the monk life that I'm going to have to live in order to get back down to 75 kilograms. So that's the thing about goals, is you have to make sure that they are, what do they talk about? Smart goals. What's S again? Safe? No. Measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. I don't know, I can't remember what S is though. There's something along those lines. But basically what I'm saying is that you need to set a goal that you know you can achieve. There's no point in me saying I want to beat Steve Redgrave on the 2K. That's never going to happen, okay? So I know that's, I did that a bit like, that was like a Martin Boyce moment then. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to be as fast as him, okay? So there's no point setting that as a goal. But if I can at least set myself a current goal of getting back to sub 7, that is something that is going to take a lot of work to get me sub 7. I think I'm around about 7:12 right now. But if I work hard at it and I focus and I really try and attack it, I know I can get there. It's just going to take a buttload of work. The 75 kilograms thing, that's actually going to be tougher than the sub 7 rowing, because that's where I need to get my head around not snacking, being really on point to get all that weight off. Because again, like I say, I'm 51-ish, so it's harder to lose that weight at this point. So that's what I'm saying. Set a goal so that you will keep on going, but don't set it so tough, so hard, and so far away that it just seems completely unachievable and you're never going to get there. Now, kind of setting a goal for December is a little bit, but I'm kind of okay with that because I know that I'm in a bit of a weird place, and so but right, okay. So that's where I am on that. Crikey, you're still rowing. Hopefully you're cooling down. Right, thank you so much for putting up with me. I mean, like I said, that woman, or it was a woman, or whoever it was that left the comment saying, too much talking for me. I know I talk a lot, but you know what? In these kind of rows, yeah. The funny thing is, in the my row workouts, which I'm filming a couple of today, I do tend to have moments where I don't talk, and it's really strange. See, when I'm rowing and I'm just like breathing and I'm not talking, I'm like, oh, this isn't right. So, I hope you got to the end of your workout. If you are still rowing, like when I just said, oh, you're still rowing, I wasn't judging you. If you are still rowing, then continue, okay? This is about you getting the best workout you can, burn calories, get better on the rowing machine, whether that means faster or just being able to last longer, who knows, whatever you want it to be, that's what's important, right? So if you're still rowing, then hopefully I've given you enough time. This is gonna be one of the longer videos, isn't it? And then in the meantime, or afterwards, or before, no, not before, but afterwards, go have a shower, have something to eat, something to drink, and then find someone you love and tell them you love them, all right? So, and without any fear of judgment. I think, like yesterday I said how I don't talk about world affairs and stuff, but I think right now there is almost like a little bit of like being open with your emotions and saying I love you to someone and actually accepting things and having an emotional response to stuff that's out there. There's a little danger that people are going to judge you for that, all right? There's this terrible kind of woke term. I think it's an awful label that is put in the wrong place. If you say to somebody, I love you, and they'd go, oh, how woke is that? Punch them in the face. I should edit that out, shouldn't I? Don't punch them in the face, all right? Just gonna go, really? That's your response? That's a better one to do. So if you say to someone, I love you, and they go, oh, that's terribly woke, just go, really? That's your response? All right, that's as far as I'm gonna get into all that stuff. Don't punch people, all right? See you next time. Row well, be well, bye-bye.